Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to fix a broken spring on a Pflueger President reel. Now Pflueger Presidents, these are probably my favorite reel out there. They have real smooth action. They last quite a long time. If you do the proper maintenance, you're going to keep them around for quite a while. Now there's one problem that I've came across in probably 5 years now that I've been using Pfluegers is that they have a spring, their bail spring. Sometimes that bail spring, it breaks. See this one here, this is a Pflueger President 25. It's one of their smaller versions. Its spring is broken. Like right now I can move the bail without activating the spring. Now you can see here, if I try to close it, it doesn't close all the way down like it should. See how I can do that? I can move it up barely with my finger. That means the spring in this arm is broken or it failed. Now I'll show you a correct Pflueger, how the spring is supposed to work. This here is a Pflueger President 30, and I actually just refurbished this one. But the spring here, I'm barely moving it up right here, and it's already coming down because that spring is actually good in this Pflueger. It's got a good snap to it. That's what we want. Now, pretty much all you got to do is replace that spring. You can order a part off of Pflueger's website, or what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of Frankenstein one together. Now, you're probably wondering, what is he doing with this Lew's reel? Now Lew's makes great reels too. I'm not gonna diss those guys, but my dad, when I was a lot younger, he stepped on the handle of this and busted the handle. So I didn't really get around to getting a new handle, so I'm just gonna take the spring. Yeah, I took the screws out, but here we go. This pops right off. Here's the spring. I'm gonna take the spring out of this Lew's reel and put it in to the Pflueger. So first we got to get the spring out of the Lew's reel, and then we'll take the what is that? The covering off of the arm on this Pflueger reel. We'll put the spring from the Lew's into the Pflueger. So pretty much gotta take the cover off on the bottom. Don't lose the screw. This will pop right off like so. Nothing to that. Then I would advise putting your thumb over the spring, because when you take this screw off, there's a lot of pressure in this spring, and you might fling and lose it. So put your thumb over the spring and loosen that screw. Get that screw out. Now once the screw is off, the spring kind of sits on a metal arm right inside there. Now this spring, or the spring hooks up to this little metal arm, and that metal arm hooks into this small circle, and that's what makes your bail click when you're doing here. I'll show you. That's what makes it go down like this. But this one's just not as great right now. So all you do, you take that spring off, save this, and we do the same thing with the Pflueger President. We'll put that spring inside of it. take that small screw off. Take off the bigger one. Take off the little plating. And here, this is what I'm talking about. You can tell that this spring, it's dirty for one, and that dirt will make the spring break. See how there's kind of two pieces there? It's all grimy. I'm going to take this off. Still put your hand on the spring because it's still spring. You might lose pieces. And here we go. This is what I'm talking about. I'm going to take this off, and the spring here, it's busted. See how it's kind of bent? That's no good. Now sometimes I've had springs in the bearings that, oh, it's just toast. Look at that. So yeah, it's no good. So we're gonna put the new spring inside here. And you're probably wondering, why the heck does he have a toothbrush? So see all that grime and buildup in there? It's not great. Use an old toothbrush and we can get that grime out. Clean it up. When you're in there, you might as well get stuff clean. Look at that. You can use that in your teeth later. Clean out the small reservoir. Pretty clean, eh? Now we just gotta put the spring in there with the arm. The arm in the Pflueger is a little bit different. Here we go. You just put, I don't know if you saw that, you put the little rod right into the spring, like so. And this is what makes your bail close. So, all that's left to do is we gotta put our metal back in. Oop, wrong way. You gotta put the long way in this part right here. And then your spring with its arm. Now a good trick to get that arm to go in there is you put that little hole in here. So kind of put, all you gotta do is put the spring right next to that. Keep it held down. I would hold it down with the other thumb. And then this comes right over. You put that metal right into the hole of this. There's not much to it. And it snaps right in. And look at that. Much better. Now, all there's left to do is put your little bracket back on, and all your screws back on. It is pretty simple, but sometimes I know people that, well, once something breaks on it, they're just, oh, they'll throw it away, I'll buy a new one. Well, I don't know about you, but I would rather spend $2 on a spring, and maybe another $2 on the shipping for the spring. So $4 total I'd rather spend than buying a new reel. Because Pflueger Presidents, they're like, I don't know, 50 to 60 bucks, sometimes 70, just depending on where you get them, in the market, of course. And there we have it. Now you have a spring on the Pflueger that works. That's all there is to it. Now another thing, if you do have this spring problem in your reel, and you don't want to go online and order a part or Frankenstein one of your own rods, this is a really simple thing to do. You just take one of your ballpoint pens and take the spring out of that. Nothing really to it. Here's a spring. Sometimes you do have to do a little snipping to get it in that casing back or in your reel. So if you have wire cutters, that could be a good thing. Most pens, they all have different sized springs. Like here, this one's kind of a shorter, stouter one, but this could be good for a bigger reel. Like, heck, I don't know. Here's an old Eagle Claw reel. I'm sure a spring like that would fit. Now, this pen here, one of them, they had this long spring, and it has this, these are actually kind of cool. I might use this later, but you see how it's kind of sectioned off? What I would do if I had more reel problems is take the wire cutter to this part probably right in the center, take a wire cutter to it, and then you'd have a spring for two. Now the spring, it doesn't have to be perfect in there, as long as it shuts good, because any spring is going to be better than broken springs. Broken springs are bad news. Something to keep in mind. Another thing you can do with Pfluegers is when your reel gets grindy, you can apply reel oil to it. And reel oil it's really useful. It pretty much just gets the ball bearings oiled back up. So if you have dirt in there, it'll loosen everything up. Just like when you get an oil change in your car, that makes it so your engine runs better. The ball bearings are the engine of a reel. So there's two spots that you can apply reel oil. The first spot that I always try first is right in the handle. So what I do to open the handle up is I hold it like so in my hand like this, hold on kind of tight, and then I reel clockwise like so, and that'll loosen up the arm, your reel handle. Now this is one entry point into your bearings. Sometimes this is all it takes to get your reel from being grindy. So you just get a little drop of oil and you put some in there. That's it. That's one thing you can do. Just put the arm back on. The handle, whatever you want to call it. Everyone's got a different name for everything. One way. Another way, and I like this one a little bit better. It does take a little longer, but you take the little cap off here. Sometimes this takes quite a while. Then you take your spool off, and in here, this rod, you can also put reel oil on. Something that I like to do if I am going to put oil in it is clean some of that up, because that's not ideal, really. See how dirty that is? That's like black. That means it's kind of oil. It's kind of dirty in there. So I just wipe some of that off. Right down to there, not so bad. And I'm just using a tissue here, nothing fancy. Also use your toothbrush, get that bad grease off, or bad oil, and then do this again. See how it's back to black in there? It's not great. You can keep cleaning that off, but that's not so important. What you do now is just apply some oil right on this shaft. That's it. All there is. Really lather it up. You don't need to use too much. I probably use a little too much. And then you just move your reel up and down a little bit. Really move her in there. And you feel it loosen up. This is a lot looser now. And that's pretty clear too. That's good. And you just put her back together. And those are some things you can do to keep your reel in tip-top shape. And to fix the spring. There you have it. Got a nice looking Pflueger President 25 reel. Almost like just how you got it from the box. But this is a 5-year-old reel now. I've kept it pretty good for that long just by doing those things. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment and I'll do something else like this sometime. In the meantime, stay warm out there. If you're going ice fishing, be safe. Make sure you use a spud to check your ice. Make sure that you have ice picks. That being said, hope you enjoy the start of your year. See you in the next one.